Kia ora koutou. Welcome to this session introducing PAT Tuhituhi, PAT Writing, which we launched in Term 3 in 2025. This tool is part of the trusted PAT assessment suite used across Aotearoa and has been developed specifically to support writing position and progress for learners in Years 5 through to Year 10. We are also currently developing a Year 3 and 4 junior writing tool. The aim of this session is for you to understand what PAT Tuhituhi is and how it fits within the wider PAT framework. Explore the writing genres and rubrics used for the assessment, explore how to administer the assessment, and to understand how the results can be used to support teaching, learning, and reporting. So what is PAT Tuhituhi, PAT Writing? PAT Tuhituhi is an online standardised writing assessment designed for formative use. It's administered online through the NZCER Assist platform. It includes a mix of auto-scoring and optional manual scoring, and it generates instant feedback for kaiako to understand ākonga position and progress in their current writing development. The tool was developed with a strong focus on equity and cultural relevance. It acknowledges that our learners come from diverse backgrounds and have a wide range of writing experiences. It is a low-stakes, formative assessment, not designed for streaming or ranking, but to inform teaching and learning through high-quality writing data, helping you understand both where your students are in their writing development and what their next learning steps might be. This assessment was developed with extensive input from kaiako, piloted in 3 kura in late 2024, and trialled with over 7,000 students in Term 1, 2025, with more than 18,000 writing samples marked to train and test the AI scoring model. This makes it a robust tool you can rely on for quality assessment information that will support teaching and learning. This assessment tool assesses 4 key genres. Narrate. Ākonga write creative or fictional stories. They're encouraged to use characters, settings, plot, and narrative techniques. Recount. Ākonga describe real events from their lives or imagined real-life scenarios. These texts are personal, sequential, and reflective. Explain. Ākonga provide detailed information or explanation about a particular topic. This genre assesses clarity and structure, and it helps the audience understand the subject matter thoroughly, often by answering the questions how or why. And persuade. Ākonga write to convince the reader of an opinion or argument using reasoning, examples, and rhetorical techniques. This assessment involves ākonga responding to a writing task. Each genre has 3 tasks, one for each year level grouping. 12 tasks have been developed for the first iteration of this tool. The prompts are locally contextualised, socially and culturally inclusive, and contain references that are familiar and relevant to students in Aotearoa. They're free from unnecessary barriers and have been designed to engage students in authentic writing experiences, and include kupu Māori and Pacific language where appropriate. Some of the tasks also include images. Where we included images, these were carefully chosen to reflect experiences of ākonga in New Zealand. There are recommended tasks for each year level grouping. However, kaiako have the option to be flexible when selecting tasks. The assessment evaluates how well students communicate ideas for a given audience and purpose using appropriate structure, language, and writing conventions. Each of the 4 genres are assessed using a tailored rubric covering focus, content development, organisation, language use and mechanics. I'll cover these in more detail now. Focus and purpose is about how well a response demonstrates overall focus of the topic, awareness of audience and purpose, and meets the demands of the task. Content development and elaboration is about how well a response develops and supports main ideas or content and provides elaboration with genre-specific elements and details. Organisation is how well a response demonstrates a cohesive, appropriate and logical structure and uses paragraphing and appropriate transitional strategies to link ideas and content. And language use, voice and style is about how well a response establishes and consistently maintains a style and tone appropriate to the audience, demonstrates control of language, uses language that is appropriate to the task, and uses a varied sentence structure. And finally, mechanics and conventions, how well a response demonstrates control of grammar, punctuation, and spelling. For each element, there are 6 score categories. They represent a progression of writing development for each element. Within each element, each score category is further illustrated by a descriptor. Kaiako can use these scores to understand strengths and identify next steps for teaching and learning. The rubrics can also be used as a moderation guide when marking across teams or schools. It's really important to have a clear understanding of the elements and the progressions on the rubric. So what does the actual assessment involve? If students and teachers are familiar with PATs, then they will be familiar with the assessment platform and general functionality. Administering the assessment. PAT Tuhituhi is fully online and administered via NZCER Assist. To get started, you need to select an appropriate task based on the year level and learner needs. Remember, while there are recommendations, tasks can be used flexibly. You need to log on to NZCER Assist and generate token codes for each student. Provide students with devices that have keyboards and internet access. We recommend avoiding tablets without external keyboards. During the assessment, students move through the task introduction, a planning screen, writing and editing screen, and a self-reflection screen where students share their thoughts about writing. Before ākonga read the task, they are given information about the online tools they can use. These are tools to help them navigate the online writing experience. Students also have access to a menu button on the top right-hand corner of the screen, and from this, ākonga can adjust the font size and style and can change the contrast of the assessment display. If your ākonga are familiar with the online PAT Pānui or PAT Pāngarau assessments, they'll be familiar with these accessibility features. Ākonga should not use word lists, graphic organisers, dictionaries or other online writing support tools or websites during the assessment. ākonga then move on to the instructions about the task. Following this is the planning screen. After planning, ākonga move on to the next screen, and if they've written any notes in the planning box, those notes will be displayed on this screen too. Students then begin to write their response in the My Writing box. They can check their spelling and editing using the online editing tools. We included these tools to make them a valid online writing experience, like Google Docs and Microsoft Word. Once they have checked their writing, ākonga can then submit. As a precaution, once they click submit, ākonga are asked if they are sure they want to. Finally, after pressing submit, ākonga are taken to a final screen where they are asked to reflect on a number of statements about writing. It is appropriate to read the assessment instructions aloud to ākonga if it's needed to support their understanding of the task. Reading written work back to them using text-to-speech technology or typing for ākonga might be useful in some contexts. However, with text-to-speech assistance, results may not necessarily reflect learners' ability to independently complete this kind of writing task. The inflection and tone used when reading written text to ākonga could also make a difference to how they hear and think about their writing. Moreover, any normative comparisons from the results of this assessment will be with ākonga who did not have this type of assistance. Kaiako should consider this when interpreting and sharing test results. The whole assessment, including administration, is designed to take no more than 60 minutes to complete. The assessment does not include a built-in timer, so kaiako should use their discretion if ākonga need more time to finish their test. We now move on to scoring and reporting. Responses are only sent for scoring if they contain more than 50 characters and 3 elements of punctuation. It's not necessarily because something is wrong with the writing, it's just that it can't be auto-scored, and this gives you the ability to reopen that response and the student can continue to write if you want this option. There's also the opportunity to set the response as confirm unable to be marked if you do not want the student to revisit their writing task. If a piece of student writing can be sent for scoring, there are 2 possible outcomes. 1, successful auto-scored result, or 2, needs review result. Any needs review outcome will have a comment to tag the issue with the written response. The possible needs review comments are off topic, repetitious, unknown words, insufficient development, poor syntax, or copied question. You can manually mark the response or set it as confirm unable to mark. We will be monitoring auto-scoring and unsuccessful auto-scoring events and working with our scoring provider to identify issues. As we gather more student data and analyse where and how schools have manually marked or updated auto-scoring marks, we will be able to improve our auto-scoring performance. We use an automated essay scoring system called Intellimetric. It was developed by a US company called Vantage. Intellimetric does use AI, but its AI components are fundamentally different from generative models like ChatGPT or Copilot, in that it uses traditional AI machine learning techniques, including natural language processes, text analysis, and statistical models. We took this system and trained it on Aotearoa specific sets of rubrics and tasks, adapting them and the scoring to fit our context. After submission, responses are sent for auto-scoring. The results then return to NZCER Assist, ready for reporting. Reports are available immediately after scoring and can be downloaded, printed or shared. They provide a rich picture of learner progress, both for internal use and for reporting. There are 3 types of reports available. Individual reports that show ākonga performance across the 5 rubric elements. Rubric list reports are for group level analysis, and student reflections give insight into how ākonga feel about handwriting. The individual report for PAT Tuhituhi contains a number of components that can be displayed or hidden using the toggle feature in the right-hand filter menu. The first section displays the assessment, the task, the assessment name, student name, and the writing task. The second section displays the prompt genre and has a link to view, download a PDF copy of the marking rubric. This displays the 5 rubric elements and scores. In this slide, you can see who the marker was, as well as the overall score and year level information. Individual reports also display national norm comparisons on the left side of the chart. These comparisons now include box and whisker plots with percentiles for each year group. You can also click on a rubric element to view a pop-up with details about the selected element. It will display the rubric information for that element and the student's score. The final section of the individual report includes a holistic comment that's supplied as part of auto-scoring. It also has 3 tabs that display the writing, planning, and editing activity of the student. The Editing tab shows a track change view and allows you to see how the students edited and or made use of the online writing tools when crafting their writing. The final section displays the 5 self-review questions that students complete at the end of their assessment. The second type of report is the rubric list report. The rubric list report displays all completed student responses within an assessment, along with a description of their status. The successful markings table contains responses that have been successfully auto-scored or manually scored. Rubric list scores are displayed with decimal values for auto-scored results across the writing elements. Individual scores display scale scores and margin of error. Aggregated scale scores are displayed alongside national norms. If there's an issue with a response, an additional table will be displayed. Assist users can click on Actions to enter the marking screen to make decisions on writing that needs a review. In summary, PAT Tuhituhi provides immediate, rich feedback via individual reports that show student performance across the 5 rubric elements, rubric list reports for group level analysis, and student reflections that give insight into how students feel about writing. NZCER can support you in a number of ways. There's a kaiako guide and Assist user guide available online. Our help desk provides administrative and technical support, and our education advisors offer schools in sector, online or face-to-face PLD and analysis support. Whether you're looking to strengthen moderation, gather data for inquiry, or simply reduce workload, this tool is designed to help.